Join me right now on Kumite Radio is one of the best light heavyweights coming out of Australia, Jimmy Crute. What's going on, Jimmy?
Not much, man. Just getting ready for next week, and yeah, not much to be said.
Yeah, man. How are the nerves right now? You're making your debut.
The nerves are all right. I normally get a bit nervous this far out, but if you're not nervous, you're either really arrogant or you're stupid. So I got the nerves. I feel the pressure of the event, but it's just gonna like with nerves, you can either use them to make you smarter and faster and sharper, or they can freeze you. So I'll just go out there and punch on, and I'll be sweet.
All right, I see you're representing Hex Fight Series. I want to talk about that a little bit. You started your career early 2016 with Hex, and in less than 2 years, you're entering your debut in the UFC. What can you attribute your fast rise to?
Um, I think fighting the right opponents and just always looking to fight better people and never turning down a fight would be one of them. And just good performances and Hex pushing the going out of their way to find good opponents and just doing the right things.
Was it mostly your decision to pick the opponents that you faced, or was it your coaches that helped you? Who was the person behind all that?
If anyone knows me, they know I would sign a blank contract and say that I don't give a shit. Just give me anyone. But no, Sam would have a bit of say in it. Stewie, and then I there was a few times I didn't even know who I was fighting until it was announced. Like I don't care who I fight ever.
When you join the UFC, you're always gonna know who you're going to fight, who you're going to face. It's gonna be all over the internet. It's gonna be hard to not see who your opponent is. Was it better for you to not know your opponent when you were preparing for fights?
I always knew always knew who I was fighting, but there was like at least one or two times where I didn't know until they announced it, and that was like 5 weeks out. And there was a few times where we didn't have an opponent because no one wanted to fight. We had to sort of scrounge up whoever we could get. But yeah, I don't care. Like, just tell me where I've got to be when I got to be there, and I'll be there. Like, I don't care who.
You're only 22 years old. That's crazy to say because most guys enter the UFC in their late 20s. Did you expect to be in this position in such a short period of time?
Yeah, I did. I knew I was gonna have to do a lot of work and not make any mistakes. If you make one mistake, it puts you back years. But I knew I'd be here early because people only see the 2 years or 3 years I've been pro, but they don't see the 10 years before that I've had this in my mind that I was going to do it. So I've always known where I was heading. I was just had to put the work in. Yeah, I'm here now, so it's all good.
You're still young in your career, but you've went through your obstacles. Could you delve into something that you have overcome in your career so far and how it affected you in the fight?
Um, Everyone, we've all had obstacles. I don't think you ever go into any fight healthy or 100% healthy, I would say. But I've had testing moments like fight. Like, I won't say what fight it was, but yeah, fighting with broken ribs. I broke my ribs 2 weeks before one fight, and was fighting off some nasty infection that was going through my system that put me in hospital. And you know, it's fighting is not like a lot of people say it, but it's true. And fighting is 90% mental. If you can just put everything outside your mind and just focus on getting the job done, you're gonna perform well, whether your body's feeling it or not. It's all mental.
You called it after your contender series fight that you wanted to get on that Adelaide card, and now you're facing Paul Craig, a UFC vet. What are your thoughts on him and his style?
I like him. I reckon he's a great fighter. And I reckon he's a great bloke. Um, that being said, he's got a lot of holes in his game, and I don't care who it is, whether I like you or I don't. I'm gonna be coming with the same game plan and the same intensity that I always do. But yeah, I've got nothing against the guy, and I've got nothing but respect for him. But I'm still gonna smash him.
It says a lot about you that the UFC is giving you a guy like Paul Craig. So do you feel a sense of responsibility to be able to perform so well because you are going to debut in Australia and the UFC is giving you such a big opponent?
Um, I don't know, man. I just I don't really put too much thought into it. Um, I think I think that the UFC want to sort of push me a bit, but I wouldn't care if they gave me a guy that was 0-10 or Paul Craig. Like, I'm gonna come in with the same intensity, the same work ethic. This is the UFC. You're not gonna fight anyone in the UFC that isn't great. So that's what you sort of have to think to yourself. Everyone that I fight from here on in is going to be world class. So it doesn't matter who. I've got to come in with the same preparation and the same intensity.
Let's get into your training camp. I know you train at a number of places around Melbourne, but who is your main coach and training partners?
So my head coach is Sam Greco. Obviously, everyone knows that. Another guy that I train under that it doesn't get as much rap about him, but he should, is Stewie Molden. I've been with Stewie for 10 years. He's my jiu-jitsu coach, and he's amazing. He's a mastermind when it comes to grappling. And training partners, I've been doing a lot of work with Ben Sassoli, Dan Kelly, as usual, Cal Potter, Kit Campbell. Kit Campbell fought not long ago, and that week he was back helping me. So I really appreciate guys like that. He could have had a few weeks off and recovered and got ready for his next fight, but he came straight back just to help me. So yeah, I've got a good crew of guys around me.
Yeah, you just mentioned a bunch of killers, especially Kit Campbell. I've had the honor of interviewing him a few times. He is such a respectful guy, but when he steps into the cage, he shows that he is, one of the best out there. Talk about the other guys that you train with, and I think Ben Sassoli, is he about to sign with the UFC, or what's going on with his situation?
I hope so. No, he just come off the Ultimate Fighter. He deserves to be in the UFC. He is. I will say this confidently. He's the hardest hitter I've ever felt sparring, fighting. He makes when people see me fight and I'm getting in the brawls and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, how'd you take those hits?" I just go, "Man, these guys can't hit me half as hard as what Ben Sassoli can in sparring." So that's I credit Ben to a lot of my being able to take a hit sort of thing. Yeah, he's amazing, and he's always gone out of his way to help me. Cal Potter, another guy that deserves to be in the UFC. I know he lost his last fight, but he deserves to be on this card as much as anyone. He should be, and he should be getting called up, in my opinion. But yeah, everyone I train with is good.
Do you feel that you guys have the best team in Australia? It seems like it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. I genuine, not just like great fighters and stuff, but guys that have just got the experience. We'll walk in to sparring on a Friday night, and there'll be 10 top 5 guys in the country, then 3 UFC fighters. Another guy we're training with, Jake Matthews, he's in twice a week with us wrestling and sparring on a Friday night. So that's another top guy that we've got in our stable.
In your last couple of fights, you've been the heavy favorite. Going into your debut against Paul Craig, do you feel the same way?
Man, I don't think about it. I reckon if they had odds for my first 2 fights, I would have been a 9-1 underdog. I reckon. Like, I've been heavy favorite. I've been heavy underdog. I like being underdog, but either way, I don't really care. It's just a bunch of opinions in my book. Like, actions speak louder than words. So
You got a lot of different personalities and fighting styles in the light heavyweight division. What makes you different from the other top level fighters?
in my mentality, I I don't like to claim that I'm better than anyone or whatever, but I will claim that I'm different. I do things differently. I see things differently. I have the best coaches available, and I don't know. I think Australia is doing a lot of good things with striking and grappling, and we're just working on really good things down here that the rest of the world aren't used to.
All right, December 2nd, UFC Adelaide. Jimmy Crute will face Paul Craig in a light heavyweight contest. Jimmy, I'm excited for you because I've been watching you in Hex for a while, especially that crazy war versus Juan Kim. It was I was thinking it was your best fight, man. It showed a lot. What do you think?
Man, I love that fight. Yeah, that was the funnest experience I've ever had in my life. I reckon. Hyon Kim's the toughest, most hard I've ever fought, man. He he's an inspirational dude, that guy, and I was glad to share the cage with him. That was a fun fight.
Do Koreans have the hardest heads?
Um, yeah, I did some damage to my hand on his head. Yeah, not just like there's plenty of guys with real good chins and real hard heads and stuff, but just the heart he had. The like not many guys will get dropped 3 times in one round and then still in the 4th round come back and try and win. Like that was an inspirational performance by Do Hwan Kim, no doubt about it.
Yeah, if you want to know about Jimmy Crute, go back, watch that fight in Hex. It's incredible, and it will prepare you for his performance on December 2nd. Thank you, Jimmy, for your time, man.
Okay. Thanks very much, brother. I'll talk to you soon.